Yo, what's up guys, I'm Yannick from the Produce School, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make music like Avicii. Avicii was a big inspiration for not only me, but almost every electronic dance music producer there is. His choice of sounds, compositions and melodies were just so good, and in this tutorial I will try to get as close as possible to the style of Avicii. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get straight into this. You can download the project file alongside more presets and samples on the produceschool.com, and I will also leave a link in the description for you guys so you can download it. And the best thing about this pack is that it's completely free. So grab your chance and get this free pack. The first thing I did was creating this melody, and it sounds like this. I think this melody really has that Avicii style in it. The chord progression is pretty easy and goes like this. And with the melody on top of it, it really works well together. For the drop I will be using that same melody I just showed you, and there are 6 layers of leads for the drop. I'm only using a few plugins for this track, Silent One especially, and some FL keys, which is free. So the first layer sounds like this. It's the Silent One and it's a nice plug. And as you can hear, there are some really small notes between the melody, and this is a trick Avicii did a lot to give the melody a more human vibe. The second layer is a really big saw synth with some pitch LFO on it, and it sounds like this. And the small notes I showed you before work really well with the mono legato option in Silent One, which really gives it that gliding effect. Like that. Then the third layer is another Silent One. I think Avicii used this lead a lot. It's inspired by Waiting for Love. We tried to recreate it, and with the melody it sounds like this. The next one was inspired by his track The Days, and it's actually a Nexus preset, but we recreated it in Silent One, and then it sounds like this. Then we have a piano layer over here, which just helps the melody come through a bit more. And I layer 2 octaves just to give it a more full sound. And last layer is just a really simple white noise from 3x oscillator, which really helps the lead make stand out more and make it more powerful. Without the white noise it sounds like this. And with it sounds like this. It makes a huge difference, and Tim used this trick a lot, just to fill up a whole part of the audio spectrum and make it really sound powerful and full. But when you're working with a white noise layer like that, then make sure you cut out all the low frequencies like this in this EQ I did over here. Because those are the frequencies you don't want in your white noise, and I also boosted a little bit of the presence to make it stand out just a bit more. All the leads go into this bus, and what I did was putting a big reverb on it like this. And then there is an EQ, which is for a filter, I think, that I will explain later in this video. There's a tape stop, which also works with an automation. I will show you it later. And then there's this kickstart, which helps for sidechaining. So that were the leads. For the drop chords I used 2 layers of pianos. The first one sounds like this.
And
I cut out some of the low frequencies and put a small reverb on it. And then the second layer sounds like this. This is a more bright and harsh piano, and I boosted some of the high end, like here. And there's also a reverb on it to give it some room. And these pianos go into this bus again with some sidechaining on it with kickstart. And after I made these pianos, I added this drop chord synth, which is basically a really simple supersaw. But it really fills up a lot of space in the track, and it helps to make the drop sound bigger. And with chords it sounds like this. What I did with these drop chords is some basic EQ like this. And what I also did, it's pushing it to the sides of the speakers so the drop sounds bigger. And you can do that easily with a stereo enhancer, and then select the phase offset to the left or the right. And this gives it that really nice wide effect. The bass is nothing special actually, it's just a pretty basic filtered saw wave bass, which sounds like this. The bass is not that present in this track, it's just to fill up the low frequencies. And underneath this bass layer there's a sub bass, which is really important to cover all the low frequencies, and it sounds like this. And if you're watching this on your phone or without headphones, then you probably won't hear the sub. But if you're listening on speakers, then you probably do. And for both of the basses there is some sidechaining on it with a kickstart, just pretty basic. And I put up the mix to 93% so it doesn't clash with the kick. Another thing that's playing in the second part of the drop is this ARP, which sounds like this. It kind of sounds like a bell sound, and it also gives it a really nice magical sound. The drums are not that complicated or something, it's just a simple kick like this, which has a little bit of white noise on it, which I really like. And underneath this kick there is a ride. Then I added a simple down filter. And also this ambient sound. Some more effects like reversed crashes and up filters. And in the second part of the drop there are some more drums incoming, like this hi-hat. And also this hard hitting snare, which Avicii used a lot. And what I did over here was creating a copy of the snare and then reversing it and then putting it before the other snare, so you get this really nice effect. And last thing I did was adding this drum loop. And that's basically it for the drop. Let's move on to the break. And the break is also not that complicated, but I will just show you what I have in there. The first thing are these chords. Just a pretty basic filtered saw wave in silent one. Then on top of that there's this really big piano. I made this piano in Contact, I don't know which library anymore, but I just rented it out for you guys so you can still hear it. Then on top of that piano there is this plug melody, which plays the same melody as from the drop. And the preset sounds like this. And as you can see from the name, it's inspired by I Could Be The One from Avicii and Nick Romero. In the second part of the breaks there are a few more elements incoming, and one of them is this guitar. It's not a real guitar and it kind of sounds like shit. I think I made this with a free plugin or something, but if you put the piano on top of it, it sounds great actually. There you don't really hear that it sounds that bad. Then there's this bass guitar which gives the break more of a drive. And this plugin is actually a really simple plugin that comes with FL Studio itself. It's called Boo Bass. It's just a simple bass guitar sound. But for this track it worked well. And together with that there are a few drums. Let's move on to the last thing I'm going to show you, and that is the build-up. It's just repeating the elements that were already there, like this arp or this chord. But what's different is that the leads and the chords are filtered with one of the automations over here. Let me just check which one it is. With those two automations I'm just pointing at right now, the leads are filtered with, and then the filter opens up. Then there are some basic drums in there like this ride, and some up filters and down filters, and then right now there's a snare fill coming. And that's basically it. Those were all the elements that are in this track, and I hope to give you a clear explanation of what I did and why I did it. And let me just play you the end result. Again guys, I'm definitely not as good as Avicii ever was, and I will never be, but I just tried something and I hope you guys liked it. Make sure to follow us on Instagram as well, because we post a lot of cool content over there, like memes, tips and tricks, and a lot of other cool stuff. Also some announcements that we are going to do really soon. Get the project file together with an Avicii style sample pack for free using the link in the description, or check out theproduceschool.com. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.